The Kirkmayer Cell Repair Kit includes 1 cell membrane, 2 end cap gaskets for each end cap and 1 O-ring. All Kirkmayer replacement parts are made to the exact OEM specifications of your specific Kirkmayer ECA generator model. Our instructional video will show you how to remove and successfully reinstall a new cell membrane. First, remove the cell from the generator. It is highly recommended that you mark all fittings and electrical disconnections from both the generator as well as the cell end caps and on the cell for electrical reinstall positions. A video would be extremely advisable. Once the cell has been disconnected from the generator, place the cell on a sturdy flat work table. Using a No. 2 Robinson screwdriver, remove the 4 set screws. Remove the knurled threaded end nut. Now you can remove the washer and the O-ring from the cell sleeve. With your right hand, gently push the cell sleeve to remove it from the cell and membrane. With the cell sleeve removed, stand the cell upright. Gently remove the upper end cap from the membrane. Now carefully remove the cell cylinder from the membrane and the lower end cap. At this procedural point, you must inspect the cell for any wear to the cell coating. This is a very important procedural step when replacing a new cell membrane. Run your fingers along the inside of the cell wall. You must also conduct a visible inspection of the cell wall. If there is any noticeable wear to the cell coating in your findings, it will require the cell to be recoated. You must immediately stop your installation and report your findings to your Kirkmayer tech support for further instructions. If there is no cell wear, you can proceed with your install. Remove the old membrane from the end cap. Now carefully install the new membrane as shown. Note when installing the new membrane into the bottom end cap, the membrane must surpass the lower gasket by 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch. Be very careful as not to apply too much pressure to the membrane as you are inserting it into the end cap. If you feel that the membrane is binding, lubricate the end cap gasket with a good quality petroleum gel lubricant to allow for a non-friction insertion of the membrane. Once the membrane has been installed, place the cell in an upright position. Now carefully install the upper end cap into the cell, making sure it is creating a firm seal against the cell. Now with both end caps firmly in place, lay the cell flat on the work table in a horizontal position. Now carefully reinstall the cell sleeve. Once installed, add the O-ring using the flat side of the washer to push it onto the sleeve and firmly seated against the end cap as shown. Now reverse the washer and insert the washer all the way onto the cell sleeve and tight against the O-ring. Now add the knurled threaded nut onto the cell sleeve. Reinstall the 4 set screws. While using both hands, hand tighten the threaded knurled nut onto the cell sleeve. Snug tight. Now with both end caps and using your hands to hold the cell firmly, slightly adjust the cell into position by rotating it. Adjust the cell to match the end cap and electrical fitting positions noted when the cell was removed from the generator. Once the cell is in its final position, then with one hand at each end of the cell sleeve, you can now hand tighten the knurled nut. Make sure not to disturb the cell position while tightening. You are now ready to reinstall the cell into the generator. It is worthy to note that if you are unsure or do not feel comfortable about replacing the cell membrane, then we highly recommend that you contact technical support for guidance and recommendations. Do not attempt to replace the cell membrane if you are not comfortable in doing so, as you do not want to break the new membrane. The membrane is very fragile and breaking it will bear some costs. It is always best to seek technical advice when in doubt.
Thank you for taking the time to view our video. If you would like more information about our technology, please visit our website at kirkmeyercanada.com. Perhaps you may know someone that our technology may be of interest. We would appreciate if you would share your findings. Again, thank you from Kirkmayer Canada.